This is John Groves coming to you from my home studio. And for today, our companion art piece, I want to experiment. Before displaying the art, I selected to illustrate the story of Samuel anointing David as the future king of Israel. I want to invite you, as you view the artwork, to allow it to speak to you, if you will, from what you know of the Bible story and the particulars I will be sharing with you. Consider this time as an opportunity for a brief meditative experience. Place yourself in the art figuratively and explore with your heart, mind, and soul how the combination of the text and accompanying images touch you or influence you. After some comments by way of background, I will pose some questions to help stimulate potential responses. Our image of the prophet Samuel anointing David comes to us from the Butte Psalter, a 13th century French illustrated manuscript written in Latin. This page illustrates Psalm 27, which begins as follows: "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear?" Since the Psalms were thought to have been composed by King David, it is natural for the anonymous artist or artists who rendered these exquisite illustrations to incorporate different scenes from the life of David in their texts. In this case, you can picture David as a young lad being filled with God's Spirit, and at a later time in his life, composing and reciting the very words of this psalm. With the Lord as his light and salvation, he has no one to fear. The image on the bottom of the page is that of a woman playing the tambourine. This image, for me, suggests the rhythmic cadence for the singing of the Psalms, a practice that dates back to the time of their composition and initial expression. Each of the 150 Psalms in the Psalter bears a tempora illustration with the starting letter, further enriching the work. Imagine the exquisiteness of these miniature images. The pages of the Psalter are just under 5 by 7 inches each. The work is named the Butte Psalter because a Marquess of Butte once owned it, a member of the British nobility. The Getty Museum in Los Angeles acquired the Psalter, where it now resides, from a private collection in 1992. In our illustration, we can see the prophet Samuel pouring oil from his horn on David's head. This marks the outpouring of God's Spirit and divine favor as set out in our Bible story. Now, consider how something so diminutive and yet so beautiful can inspire us. Think of the poses of the figures portrayed. Are their attitudes and expectations apparent? The top figure denotes a religious ritual or ceremonial occasion, and the bottom figure may well denote a celebratory occasion. Are these images compatible? And although they may be dressed in medieval garb, reflecting the artist's social world, do they nevertheless portray customs we continue to observe in one form or another today? Perhaps more than anything, we can affirm, without the need for ceremony or ritual, our innate divinity and our capacity for manifesting many wonderful and creative endeavors.